Have you ever wondered why some of your electrical devices come with two-prong plugs, while others have three? What if I told you that this one simple pin, just a little piece of metal, has saved millions of lives in the past 70 years? After World War II, electricity became a standard part of American life. But compared to today, the number of appliances in a typical home was small, maybe just some light bulbs, an iron, a toaster, or a space heater. And yet, electrocution accidents were tragically common. The U.S. Consumer Product Safety Commission estimates that up to 800 people died every year from household electrocutions during the mid-20th century, an alarmingly high rate, especially with so few devices in the home. In 1947, the U.S. introduced the standardized three-prong plug. It seemed like a small change, just one extra pin, but it marked the beginning of a revolution in electrical safety. In the early days, even though homes had just a few electrical appliances, the electrocution rate was high, around 27 to 38 deaths per million electrified households. Today, the average American home has 20 to 50 plus devices, TVs, laptops, smart speakers, and more. Yet electrocution deaths have dropped to fewer than 1.5 per million households, a 90% reduction. We now use far more electrical devices than ever. Yet electrocution deaths have dropped sharply. Why? Because of one small innovation, the three-prong plug. That extra pin, connected to ground, has quietly saved lives for decades. In this video, we'll uncover how this simple feature keeps us safe every time we plug in. Let's break it down with a simple example. The humble toaster. Like many appliances, it has a metal outer casing. Inside, it only needs two wires to function, a live wire and a neutral wire. These two handle the normal flow of electricity. To keep things simple, let's say the live wire is at 120 volts and the neutral wire is at 0 volts. Why 0? Because utility companies work hard to keep the neutral line at the same electrical potential as the earth, literally the ground beneath your feet. That's why we can think of both the neutral wire and the earth as sitting at 0 volts. Now, electricity always flows from a higher voltage to a lower one. So the current enters the toaster through the live wire, powers the heating elements, and flows back out through the neutral wire, clean, efficient, and safe. But what if something goes wrong? You're in your kitchen. The toaster looks fine on the outside, but inside a frayed wire or a bit of moisture causes a short. Suddenly, the live wire touches the metal casing. The toaster still works. It toasts your bread like nothing ever happened. But now the entire outer shell is live, charged with 120 volts of electricity, and it's just sitting there, waiting for your hand. The moment you touch that metal surface, your body becomes the easiest path to the ground. Why? Because instead of safely flowing back through the neutral wire, the current can now shortcut straight through you to reach the earth. Electricity doesn't think. It simply follows the path of least resistance, from high voltage to low. And in that moment, you become part of the circuit. But here's the problem. Your body isn't made of copper. You're not built to carry current. And when electricity flows through the human body, the consequences can be deadly. When electricity flows through anything, it creates heat. That's just physics. Wires are made of metals like copper, which offer little resistance, so they stay cool. But our bodies? We're full of resistance. Skin, muscle, organs, and when current passes through, it generates intense heat inside. That's why electric shocks don't just hurt. They can literally cook you from within, burning tissue, muscle, even bone. Sometimes there's no visible mark, but the internal damage can be massive, and it happens in seconds. Worst of all, electricity can scramble your heart. Your heart runs on tiny electrical signals, beating in perfect rhythm to keep you alive. But a strong external current can overwhelm those signals, like blasting noise over a soft drum beat. The rhythm breaks. The heart stumbles. It might beat erratically or stop altogether. That's why even a small current, just 100 to 200 milliamps, can be fatal if it crosses the chest. When electricity flows through you, your body can't handle the chaos. It can burn your tissues and make your heart panic and stop, all because of one small wire. Luckily, there's a way to prevent these deadly shocks, and it starts with grounding. Here's the idea. When you touch a live wire, you get electrocuted because there's high voltage at the wire, and the earth is at low potential. Electricity always flows from high to low, and your body becomes the bridge. To stop this, we add a third wire to metal-bodied appliances. This ground wire is connected to the casing and buried deep in the earth. Now, if the live wire ever touches the casing, the current takes the easier path, straight to the ground, not through you. Simple, right? But here's the catch. Don't get too comfortable. Even with a ground wire, it's not 100% safe to touch a faulty device. Why? Because now electricity has two paths, one through the ground wire and another through your body. This setup is called a parallel connection. If grounding is done properly, most of the fault current flows through the ground wire, the path of least resistance. But a small amount can still pass through you. It's much safer than having no ground at all, but not foolproof. The shock might not be fatal, but it can still cause pain, burns, or muscle and nerve damage. So grounding is a critical first line of defense, just not the only one. To really protect against electric shock, we don't just rely on the ground wire. We also use special safety devices called residual current circuit breakers, or RCCBs, and ground fault circuit interrupters, better known as GFCIs. They do the same job, detecting dangerous leakage currents and cutting the power before you even realize something's wrong. The main difference? The name depends on where you are. In Europe and much of Asia, you'll hear them called RCCB. In the US and Canada, they're known as GFCI, and you've probably seen them built right into outlets in bathrooms, kitchens, or outdoors. You know, the ones with the little test and reset buttons? Now, when you plug in an appliance, the power runs through one of these safety devices. If everything's fine, your device works like normal. But what if something goes wrong? Say a live wire touches the metal casing. That makes the outer shell live, and current starts flowing toward the ground. As we mentioned earlier, that's dangerous, but not for long. Within milliseconds, the RCCB or GFCI detects the imbalance and trips, cutting off the power instantly. The result? You're protected. The faulty device loses power before you can even touch it. And here's the clever part. You can't reset the breaker until you unplug or fix the faulty appliance. If you try to turn it back on without solving the issue, it'll just shut off again. Simple, automatic, and incredibly smart. So, how do these circuit breakers actually work? The principle is surprisingly simple, and you might have even played with it in school. Remember making an electromagnet? Just wrap a wire around an iron core, maybe a nail, and run some current through it. Boom! You've got a magnetic field. The current direction decides the poles, north and south. If you reverse the current, the poles swap. Easy, right? Now imagine we've got two identical electromagnets sitting side by side. We send the same current through both, but in opposite directions. That means each one generates its own magnetic field, but those fields point in opposite directions. Now focus on the space right between them. Let's call the magnetic field in that middle region B. Since the currents are equal and opposite, their magnetic fields cancel each other out in the center. So in normal conditions, when everything's working perfectly, B equals 0, no net magnetic field. Here's where it gets interesting. Let's say something goes wrong. Instead of flowing back through the second electromagnet, the return current leaks out, maybe through the ground or, worse, through a person. Now there's no current in that second coil, which means no opposing magnetic field. The result? B is no longer 0, there's a magnetic imbalance, and that's the key. In a GFCI or RCCB, right in the center of these two coils, we place a third coil, a sensing coil. When B changes, meaning the magnetic fields no longer cancel, this sensing coil picks it up and produces a tiny current. That tiny current triggers a solenoid, which flips a switch and cuts off the power in milliseconds. That's how a GFCI or RCCB works. As long as all the current that flows into the device also flows back out, everything stays balanced, and the switch stays on. Power flows normally, But the moment there's an imbalance, even a tiny one, the system detects it. Maybe some current is leaking through a damaged wire, or worse, through a person. That tiny difference disrupts the magnetic balance inside the device. And just like that, snap, the mechanism is triggered and the power is cut off in milliseconds. Let's see it in action. Imagine you're powering a toaster through one of these circuit breakers. If everything's fine, current flows in, flows out, and the device stays on. But if a fault happens, like a live wire touching the metal body, some of that current leaks to the ground. Suddenly, the outgoing current drops to zero and the magnetic balance breaks. The sensing coil detects the imbalance and, snap, the circuit breaker shuts everything down instantly. And here's the smart part. You can't turn it back on until the faulty device is unplugged. Try to reset it while it's still connected. It just trips again. Simple, elegant, life-saving. But remember, for this entire safety system to work, your home has to be properly grounded. Take a look at a standard wall outlet. The top two slots, usually rectangular or square, are for the live and neutral wires. The bottom hole, often round or D-shaped, is the ground connection. That ground wire runs through your house and is physically connected to a metal rod buried deep in the earth, usually about 6 to 8 feet underground. It's not just symbolic, it's literally your connection to the planet. And that slightly larger pin on your plug? That's the life-saving one. It links your device's metal casing directly to that underground connection, giving stray electricity a safe escape route. But if your home's grounding isn't installed correctly, or is damaged, that pin becomes useless. And suddenly, the system that was supposed to protect you doesn't. The same goes for your RCCB, GFCI, or even the basic MCB, the miniature circuit breaker that guards against overloads. If any of them fail, a faulty appliance could pull too much current, heat up the wires, and potentially spark a fire. So yeah, it might look like just one extra pin on your plug, but that little piece of metal has been quietly saving lives day after day for decades. Thanks for watching. I hope this video gave you a clearer and maybe eye-opening look at how grounding works and why it matters. Stay curious, stay safe,